Yeah, it was all good.
And people were very polite too. They really were.
I think that's the most fun of the campaign, actually. Just talking to people.
Yeah, they're very polite.
Yeah. And we dodged the rain, so that was a good thing.
That's a big one. Yeah.
If anything was said bad about us, we just blamed it on you and Bob, Kathy.
Okay.
And mostly Bob, Kathy. It was mostly Bob.
We'll accept it. That's fine.
We did last time, I thought.
Okay. I tell you what, this election stuff is not my favorite thing, to be honest. Oh, boy.
Veronica, I'm going to stop your video until we get ready to pull you in. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Folks, 1 minute out. Mayor, John Endo has not shown yet. So as soon as he comes on, I'll pull him in.
Okay. Do we have anyone who can back up that presentation? I don't know if Mike can give that or.
Yeah, if he should be here, but I've got it. It's just one quick slide.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, going live. We're at the 7 o'clock hour. Do you want me to go ahead and start it?
Yeah, I think we can get rolling.
Okay.
All right. Welcome everyone to tonight's meeting of the Burlington City Council. Today is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Zoom platform again, where our meeting is continuing to be streamed on the YouTube page at youtube.com/COBNC. Please note that this meeting is also being recorded. For tonight's public comments or public hearing to address council at the appropriate time, we ask you to use the raise hand feature in your Zoom window or *9 if you're joining us via phone. That will notify our host that you wish to speak and we'll call on you at the appropriate time. As a preliminary matter, I am Mayor Ian Baltutis, and I'd like to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on this agenda are present and can hear me. Members present when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mayor Pro Tem Kathy Hikes.
Here.
City Council Member Jim Butler.
Here.
Council Member Bob Ward.
Here.
Council Member Harold Owen.
Here.
Staff participants and presenters, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. City Manager Hardin Watkins.
Here.
City Attorney David Huffman.
Here.
Interim City Clerk Beverly Smith.
Here.
Assistant City Manager Nolan Kirkman.
Here.
Public Information Specialist John Vernon.
Here.
Director of Planning and Transportation Mike Nunn.
Here.
Do we have John Ando? It looks like John Ando is coming in. And then Downtown Manager Sarah Beth Hardy.
Here.
Water Resources Director Bob Patterson.
Here.
Director of Finance and Risk Management Peggy Reese.
Here.
All right, and I think John Ando has just joined as a co-host. I see John. John, can you hear us?
I hear you perfectly, and I'm here.
Very good. Thank you, John. All right, with that, we'll move on to our invocation and call on Councilmember Bob Ward.
Thank you, Mayor. For our invocation tonight, I would like to share an adaptation of a prayer written by Cameron Wiggins Bellum. The title of the prayer is Prayer for a Pandemic. Let us bow our heads, please. May we who are merely inconvenienced remember those whose lives are at stake. May we who have no risk factors remember those most vulnerable. May we who have the luxury of working from home remember those who must choose between preserving their health or making their rent. May we who have the flexibility to care for our children when their schools close remember those who do not have that option. May we who have to cancel our trips remember those who have no safe place to go. May we who are losing our margin money caused by the uncertainty of the economic market remember those who have no money margin at all. May we who are able to quarantine at home remember those who have no home. As the pandemic continues its grips on our country, may we remember that through you all things are possible, and we now pray for your presence and divine guidance as we strive to move through these difficult and trying times. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
We have a recognition this evening, but before that, I'd like to thank all of the poll workers and folks from the Board of Elections, every volunteer out there right now that are still at the polls. Polls are open until 7:30 tonight. We appreciate their commitment to our community's democratic process and the voting process, so especially during a pandemic. We have a special recognition tonight. I'd like to call on Public Information Specialist John Burnett.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. I am checking right now, and you mentioned the Board of Elections. Dr. Dorothy Yarbrough has served, this is a continuation from last council meeting of the recognitions of residents who have served 3 full terms on the city advisory boards and commissions. And Dr. Dorothy Yarbrough has served those 3 terms plus 2 one-year extensions on the BHA. And she actually is now serving as board chair for the Alamance County Board of Elections, which means she did confirm earlier today, but maybe she has gotten caught up in today's events and is not on. But I can turn this over to Burlington Housing Authority Executive Director and CEO Veronica Revels to speak about Dr. Yarbrough's service.
John, I'm trying to bring her in right now.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Veronica, if you want to unmute your video and your audio.
Miss Yarbrough, if you will accept the invite to join as a panelist, that will bring you in.
All right, it looks like Dorothy's coming in now as a co-host. Should have her video shortly.
I think we have everyone, Veronica.
There we go. Welcome, Dorothy.
Thank you.
Hi, so is it my turn, John?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Hello, everybody, Mayor and Council, Dr. Yarbrough, and everyone else on this video. Dr. Yarbrough was first appointed, as I think I heard John mentioning, with the board back in 1988. She served 12 years for 2000 in the capacity of chair or vice chair. Over those years, in 2010, she returned to the board and she served 3 more years. During that 3 years, she received her inaugural commissioner certification, where she took classes in DC in order to obtain those credentials. That was, I think, the first and only commissioner that I know of that has ever served at the Housing Authority and obtained those credentials. Being a glutton for punishment, Dorothy was reappointed to the board in 2016, where she served until 2021 for a cumulative total of 20 years. And over those 20 years, I've seen Dorothy work in the community as well as on our board as a strong advocate for helping people to become their best selves and always looking for a window of opportunity for the residents that we serve. One major accomplishment that Dorothy made in 2016, we nominated her as a Commissioner of the Year for Carolinas Council, which is a North and South Carolina organization of housing authorities. And then Carolinas Council submitted her name to CERC, which is the Southeastern Regional Council of Government that covers a 10-state region. And she was named Commissioner of the Year through both of those organizations. Out of that recognition, she was appointed to serve on a certain inaugural board, where she served on a committee that advocated for public housing authorities to HUD, which was a great accomplishment for North Carolina, especially for Burlington to be appointed to that board. So we're very proud to have had Dorothy work with the Housing Authority all of these years. Now I'd like to yield my time to our current board chair, Elise Knapp, to give a comment.
Thank you, Madam Executive Director. It's my honor that Veronica asked me to be here to represent the current board of the Burlington Housing Authority tonight and to speak in testimony to Dr. Yarbrough's years of service, both to BHA and our nonprofit branch, the Burlington Development Corporation. She's done so much for both, as Ms. Revels just spoke to. Currently, I'm the chair of the board, but really ever since my first day at the conference table, I saw Dorothy kind of as serving as the emotional chair of our board in a lot of ways. She anchors us in a wonderful way, and her consistent presence on the board and those many years of experience serving the community and serving our residents have really made her an invaluable resource to the rest of us. So when I was appointed back in 2017, I felt very green and very nervous about my first direct experience with public service, but it was so immediately clear to me that Dr. Yarborough was someone I could learn from. She was immediately welcoming from that very first day, and watching her serve and speak up for our residents and the community, it just gave me not only so much to learn from, but eventually really strengthened my own confidence in what I could bring to the table and contribute to the board. So I've learned so much from her and appreciated her role model for the rest of us. She has always been someone that I know I or any other board member can reach out to with questions, and would be received with a kind spirit and ready to train us up and impart some of that wonderful wisdom she's gained over the years. And obviously, as Ms. Revels just spoke to, it's not just in our own community that Dr. Yarborough has served or been honored. Her recognition beyond Alamance County at NARO or Carolina Council or any of those many places is really a testament to how unique her dedication is. You know, a lot of people see board service as an easy retirement gig, right? You get a free lunch once a month and you don't have to really actually put in a lot of effort if you choose to do it that way. Or maybe it's a particular form of public service that is a nice way to have a path to your own professional advancement. And she has proven both of those things incorrect in her own service. She's always consistently brought value and wisdom to our meetings and our work because of all those efforts to educate herself and be the best board member she could be over the years, always improving our work, the lives of our residents. And that is so clearly been her driving force rather than padding her resume, which you just heard her resume from Veronica. She doesn't need any padding. She's got it all down. So anyway, with all that said, thank you so much for letting me be here to speak to Dr. Yarborough's amazing service to our community and to BHA specifically. I can't think of anyone that I've served with more deserving of acknowledgement. And so I'm delighted to share my own gratitude. And it's my honor and privilege to present Dr. Dorothy Yarborough to the council for recognition.
Thank you very much. Dorothy, would you like to say anything?
Well, what can I say? I mean, it is just, I am so grateful and I am thankful. First, let me say thank you to the mayor and the council, number one, for allowing me to serve, because had you not appointed me to the Burlington Housing Authority's board, I would not have been able to serve. Certainly housing and is a passion, just as education is a passion. So first of all, let me thank each of you for allowing me to serve. Now, I served under several directors and I have enjoyed working with them. But let me tell you, the current executive director, I truly have enjoyed working with her. That is one knowledgeable director. So it, to me, because of her work, it makes the work of the board that much easier because she brings with her so much knowledge and she imparts that knowledge to us. She challenges the board, let me assure you, but she is great. So thank you so much, Veronica, for all you do to keep the board aware. I think you push the board. I think you want the board to succeed and you offer trainings. You tell us about those. Elise, you are one excellent board chair. I think you brought with you extreme knowledge and you have been an excellent chair. And I look forward to working with you all in some capacity, whatever I can do. If I am needed, I am certainly here for you. I'm only going to be on this call for a very few minutes because even though I get off one board, I certainly am on another. As you know, currently I serve as the chair of the Board of Elections, and the state says I must be there at 7:30. So I may get off one, but I serve on several. So tonight, duty calls for me to be back at the Board of Elections at 7:30. I appreciate this so very much. It has been truly rewarding. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Yarborough. We won't hold you up from your next responsibility, but we appreciate all that you've given to the community so far. So, and keep up the wonderful work.
Thank you so much, Mayor Baltudis.
All right.
And good night.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Absolutely. Thank
I
you.
think she deserves a round of virtual applause.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have the same impact, but we'll do it anyway. So,
Thanks.
Thank you very
And have a
much,
great meeting.
Dorothy. Thank you.
Dorothy, you're a
Thank
special,
you.
special person.
Thank you, Bob. I have worked with you for many, many years. I've worked the current board I've worked with for many years, and I
Yeah.
appreciate each of you.
I've loved every
in
minute of it. I can
capacities.
assure you. It's been fun.
So
You're
have
an
I.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank
Dorothy,
you.
the time you've given to the city, people cannot underestimate the wonderful things you've done and how you've helped people. You're a real star. And any accolades you get, you certainly deserve. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Harold. You and I worked together even before I came to the Housing Authority Board,
That's right.
along with Bob and thank you, and Kathy on numerous occasions. So thank you all so very much. I appreciate it.
Much admired, and you're inspiring in your commitment to the community and especially to children. And we're very grateful for the work you've done, Dorothy.
Thank you.
all right.
Appreciate it.
With that,
Okay.
we'll let Dr. Yarborough run to her next engagement. And thank you, Veronica and Elise. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Right.
All right, with that, we have a report to council from our Burlington Downtown Corporation. At this time, I'll recognize our downtown manager, Sarah Beth Hardy. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. I do want to recognize first, before I get started, the current BDC board president, Coleman Rich, is here with us. And I believe he'll say a few words before I get into the annual report.
Welcome, Coleman.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I didn't know if you wanted me to go after Sarah Beth after all the great things you're going to tell them, but thank you. I just want to say many thanks to Sarah Beth. We've got she's an awesome downtown manager for us, and we're very thankful to have her working with the merchants downtown and getting our committees rolling. And I've been on this board for a long time, and I think that we have what you'll see. We have probably accomplished more in this year in a very long time in terms of activities, in terms of the way the downtown looks. We've got a young board, and I'm thankful for our board. We've got a young board. Some are property owners, some are business owners. They can articulate a vision and create a downtown environment, and which is suitable not only for the city of Burlington, but also for different demographics for the downtown area. We've got a hardworking grant committee who has done a tremendous job in such difficult times to administer grants. And you've seen what Sarah Beth will probably talk about in terms of the investment that we've put in this year. And you're going to see more. Next year is going to be, next year, I believe that will be, you'll see more investment in the downtown area than what we've seen this year. And we'll see more businesses and more activities in the downtown area. And and then of course the merchants and what they've had to deal with in a once in a lifetime event. They've been extremely resilient and persistent, and they've made it work in this environment. Now we have this hybrid partnership, and at first I was kind of skeptical in terms of how it would work, but we're really blessed. We've got this great board. We have many of you who are here tonight sit on the board. The mayor, Peter, Nolan does, Emily Crowley with the recreation department. And so we've got great stakeholders and partnerships, not only with the downtown merchants, but also with the city of Burlington. And this has worked out extremely well. So I'm excited for the future. And I want to thank the city council, because you're our third and most important stakeholder in this, and we certainly do appreciate your support that you've given us over the years, and especially in this past year. And we are truly grateful for what you've done for us and your involvement in the Burlington downtown area. So thank you so much. And Sarah Beth, I'll be quiet and let you have the floor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Coleman. And just quickly, while I'm sharing my screen, I want to make sure that I recognize, seen on Zoom and unseen. I know we have other board and committee members that are here. They've logged in or they're watching on YouTube. And so I want to thank them. I'm hopeful that you all can see my PowerPoint.
We just got it up on the screen.
Okay, awesome. All right. Awesome. So just as an overview, this is an annual report. It's actually just a required part of our contract, but it's much more exciting than that. It's for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021. So I'm going to give an overview of course, the past year, but also some things that are upcoming. So I'm going to start with statistics, as I always do. Each year we track business, property, and volunteer data and report it back to the Department of Commerce and the North Carolina Main Street program. As you know, Burlington is part of North Carolina Main Street, that network, and we're provided support for downtown revitalization efforts. And just last year, North Carolina Main Street surpassed $3 billion in public and private investment in our downtowns in North Carolina that are part of the program. And we're thrilled to be part of that success, of course. So we saw some really encouraging numbers again this year in downtown with 7 net businesses that opened and over 50 full or part-time jobs added. And we also had an increase in the volunteer hours that were logged with the BDC and on downtown projects, which of course is a huge value to our program. It was a big year for investment. So our BDC Small Grants Program awarded 134,000 grant dollars, which leveraged a ton of private investment. There were also some public improvements done. And we really it was a year where the need and the demand for that grant program and those dollars was on full display. So you'll see to the right some of the projects that were completed or are still underway this year, thanks to those grant awards. Some of these are nearing completion and some we're already getting to enjoy, such as Tanner's Wine Bar. So just a great year for that grant program. It was also a big year for downtown beautification. So we saw the completion of that mural project that was started in 2019, where we set out to put 3 murals around the district. We brought 2 in spring 2021 that are just so much fun. And I want to especially highlight the Burlington mural over on Spring Street, which was done by local artists, Lindsay Mitchell and Dan Porter. Just so much fun. We have continued to partner with the New Leaf Society and the city to maintain and refresh over 100 street planters in downtown. So every spring and fall, we utilize volunteers to bring new plants to the planters. We've had great weather over the past year for that. And just to plug, we'll be planting next Thursday. So meet at the depot at 10 o'clock if you're interested in helping. But that's just been, they've looked amazing, and we've really kind of hit a stride with Public Works and with implementing that program in downtown this year. And last but certainly not least is my favorite beautification project ever, our holiday decor and ambient lighting. So we've worked really hard in conjunction with Recreation and Public Works to bring this vision that started with the BDC Design Committee to life. And you'll remember in February, I came to you with some plans and concepts. And you of course said, this is great, move forward. Well, we did. And we brought lights to the trees and the courtyard there at the depot just in time for summer events. And they've been just absolutely wonderful to enjoy. And we had a little sneak peek of some new holiday decor with the giant wreath that sat at the entrance to the depot courtyard in 2020. You'll see there we had an early morning running group that enjoyed taking their photo with it. And I enjoyed really seeing families and all kinds of visitors to downtown enjoy that really burst of happiness during the holiday season. But again, that was a sneak peek. So I'm really excited to say that for 2021, we have all new holiday decor coming to downtown. So we did it. There will be new pole mount lights, a new tree, which is pictured here. And it took a lot of planning and coordination, but I want to thank you again for your support. And I encourage everyone this holiday season, right before the parade, it'll all be installed. So come down and see it. So in light of the readjustment and transition that we've all done since March of 2020, the BDC sort of added to and enhanced some of our event offerings. We continue great success with the Fourth Friday Art Walk, which was sort of one of our promotion committee's ideas to enhance and program Fourth Fridays during the months when the traditional Fourth Fridays aren't around. Those were great this year and they'll continue. We also added a second Sunday music series to liven up downtown on Sunday afternoons, which I know has been super fun and just creates a totally different atmosphere in downtown when you come down and there's live music playing. We also held 2 successful outdoor artisan markets and plan to continue those, the spring sidewalk sale and our small business Saturday event. Those will continue this year and we saw great numbers. I was really encouraged that folks felt safe to come to an outdoor event over the past year. And while it didn't technically fall in the fiscal year that I'm here to report on, I cannot go without mentioning our second Phoenix Fourth Friday, which happened just over a week ago. This event is just such an incredible show of community partnership and relationship. And we were able to welcome Elon students and their families to downtown. And this is just the type of event that we've dreamed up for years. And now after having done it twice, I can definitely say that its ripple effect on our downtown economy really can't be quantified, but it goes well beyond the night of the event. So we're looking forward to doing that for many years to come. So moving on to some of the less glitzy, but equally important parts of the BDC's work. We did achieve Main Street accreditation again in 2021, which means that our program is continuing to meet high standards for design, promotion, organization, and economic vitality. We recognized Casey and Emily Lewis this year as our 2020 North Carolina Main Street champions. They have been such a powerful force of creativity and business growth and investment here in downtown, and they are just getting started. In June, the BDC was awarded another contract for Municipal Service District Services. It's a mouthful, but that represents a lot of hard work over the years to maintain partnership with the city and with our private business and property owners. So it's an achievement I definitely wanted to note. And we're also just over a year into the new hybrid structure that Coleman mentioned, in which the downtown manager, me, is a city employee and part of a city department. And I'm here to report that it's gone really well. It's definitely made things more efficient and more streamlined for the way the BDC and the city work in conjunction. This is a model that most Main Street communities have moved to already, or they're planning to. And so it's been a great move. And our board, you know, I was gonna say with all of that transition, they've been super supportive. And so speaking of them, we really can't move our work forward without a big group of volunteers. And we certainly have great ones, as Coleman mentioned also. This is the 2020-2021 Board of Directors. We also have many volunteer committee members that serve in capacities just on a committee, even if they're not on a board. And they provided a lot of steady leadership in a year that could have been really trying for the BDC. The amount of transition that I just tried to sum up in one little slide. It could have been a source of major upheaval. I've heard the horror stories from other communities when you try to move and the staff move and different things happen, but not for these folks. They did a great job and have been nothing but engaged and supportive and have continued all the good work. So in closing, I wanted to just take a minute to highlight some of the most exciting things that have happened this year, and even some that are still in planning stages, just to get you excited. We saw the opening of some amazing new businesses like the Mini Dingo and Tanner's Wine Bar, and the Studio Boutique and Harbor House Seafood. And what this shows me is that our After 5 offerings are growing significantly in downtown, which is a sure sign of vibrancy and vitality. We also have some exciting projects nearing completion. So I know we've talked for a long time about Burlington Food Hall, and I get asked about it all the time. It's coming. They'll be here soon. Carolina Sundries, the Lewis's project is underway and will be here soon, and is growing and growing in excitement. There's more activity, more vibrancy, more food coming in some parts of the district that have been quiet for years, which is great to see. We've also had some long vacant buildings that have recently sold to new owners who plan to develop them into much needed offerings for downtown. So all great news on that front. And then as far as BDC committees and their work moving forward, we've recently completed some improvements to the small grants program to make the application process easier for applicants and for reviewing. Our Economic Vitality Committee is working on a downtown pitch deck document, which would be for potential investors and developers of downtown, just updated photography, updated language as the landscape of downtown has changed. Our promotion committee is working, they always continue to come up with creative ideas for engaging promotions like a downtown restaurant week and different social media and advertising campaigns. And lastly, our design committee, they put all their effort into the lights. They did it, they checked it off, they're excited and still have more ideas where those are concerned, but they're also working on plans for pocket parks and imagining new ways to enjoy the outdoor spaces that we have in downtown. So those are some of the highlights, but as you can see, we remain hard at work and have had a really great year and are excited for 2022 and all that it brings. And that's it. That's all for me. Thank you again for your time. I hope that that left you with a lot of burning questions about what's going on in downtown. And I'm happy to answer them now or really at any time. So feel free to reach out, because I know that myself or Peter or Coleman or any of our mini board and committee volunteers would be happy to share. So thank you again.
Thank you, Sarah Beth. Any questions from council? So Beth, I understand we've had a minor problem with squirrels in the new lighting. And I hope that we can kind of keep those lights in working order.
Yeah. Every time I drive by, I curse the squirrels, and yeah, I think about all I see really is them munching on dollars, like money. Like, no. So yeah, what can you do?
I haven't heard if they make squirrel-proof lights yet for wrapping those trees, but we'll keep on it. So
We'll get it figured out.
Any other council questions? I know I'm excited to see those holiday decorations when they go up in November. That's been something the community's asked me about for many, many years. So we really appreciate the work from the design committee and the support of all of council to make that investment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the lights are wonderful. Kim and I and our family are down there quite a bit. We're downtown fairly often, at least a couple times a week. And the lights just change the whole area. And it's just beautiful. You guys have done a great job with that.
Thank you.
And Sarah Beth, if you can find the magic solution to solve your squirrel problem, I think you would have some opportunities throughout the country to put that forth, is all I can say to you. Actually, I work with a guy today who says he has pet squirrels. And I, squirrels can create some significant challenges at times that unintentionally, but certainly things to consider. And I can only imagine with the lights what it can be like.
I think the squirrels are doing it intentionally. So just seems to be in their natural behavior.
Yeah.
Harold, there used to be a permitting process for that.
Yes, it did once. Yes, it did. Yes.
All right, Sarah Beth, we appreciate your work. To Coleman, to the board, thank you so much. We're excited to see how downtown continues to grow and develop, especially, as you mentioned, 9 new businesses during a pandemic. I think that's absolutely incredible when we talk about success stories for our community. The fact that Burlington's had some good momentum, a good trajectory, and that your group has enabled us to continue to support that and to realize that growth despite all the adversity going on around us.
Yes, I agree. Thanks so much.
Coleman, thank you for your volunteer leadership also. We're very much appreciative of that.
Harold, we've got a great board. So it's the board and the committees, and Sarah Beth, I'll give it. Thank you though, but I'll give it to them. They do. And hey, squirrels, we have plenty of squirrels over here at Elon. They'd probably like to have more squirrels here at the university too. So just send them over here. Put them on the bio. Next time the bio bus is in town, put the squirrels over here and send them here. We got plenty of acorns over here for them. Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much, and thank you for your support so much. We couldn't do all this without your support. So thank you.
All right, with that, we'll move on our agenda. Next, we recognize our interim city clerk, Beverly Smith.
Members of council, it is my responsibility to remind you of your duty to avoid conflicts of interest. I ask if there are any potential conflicts concerning tonight's agenda items.
Next, we have minutes from our August 16th, 2021 work session, our August 17th, 2021 work session. Do I hear a motion and second to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Council Member Ward, seconded by Council Member Butler. Any questions regarding the motion? All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes for myself, Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, Council Members Ward, Butler, and Owen. Next is the adoption of the agenda. Do I hear a motion and second to adopt the agenda?
So moved. So moved.
Second.
All right, motion to approve made by Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, seconded by Council Member Owen. Any questions regarding the motion? All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes for myself, Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, Council Members Ward, Butler, and Owen. Next is the consent agenda. These items are typically non-controversial. If anyone has any questions about them, please let us know. Item A, to adopt an ordinance approving the following Traffic Commission recommendation to 1, install a stop sign at Bow Court at the intersection with Glenkirk Drive. Item B, to approve a request to temporarily close a portion of City Parking Lot 1 at the corner of Spring Street and Front Street during the installation of downtown holiday decor from mid-November 2021 to early January 2022. Do I hear a motion and second to approve the foregoing consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Councilmember Ward, seconded by Councilmember Butler. Any questions regarding the motion? All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes for myself, Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, Council Members Ward, Butler, and Owen. Next, we have public hearings this evening. We have 2 of them. Item 1, a public hearing has been set to consider an application to rezone a portion of property from conditional business 833, CB 833, and neighborhood business NB zoning districts to general business GB zoning district. The portion of property in question is located at 1700 South Church Street, west of South O'Neill Street, and north of Sykes Street, and consists of Alamance County Tax Identification Number 121669. At this time, we recognize our Director of Planning and Transportation, Mike Nunn. Mike, we've got your screen up now as well.
I'm off of mute. Let me make sure.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you mentioned, this property is for rezoning to general business. The map, if everybody can see it, is at the southwest corner of O'Neill Street and Church Street. It's the current location of the Biscuitville that we're familiar with. It is a request to rezone from conditional general business and neighborhood business to just straight general business zoning. Currently, the conditional use permit restricts parking only in the rear portion of the site, and this rezoning would allow it to be straight GB general business and to allow full use of the site. At this time, no specific plan has been submitted for development. The comprehensive plan, pull that up. This is our rezoning site here. If I can get the land use plan up. There we go. As you can see, calls for a mixed use. It is consistent with this rezoning. It's compatible with existing commercial uses. Staff recommends approval, and at the August 23rd meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission, unanimous approval was also recommended. We did present this to you at the September 20th work session, and to date, no public comments have been submitted. Mr. Scott Fry and Mr. Jesse Lester are here, I believe, as the applicants to answer questions, and I as well can answer any questions you have.
Very good. So, Scott, anything you'd like to add? We have audio. Sure.
I do not see Scott on the list.
All right. Any questions from council before we begin the public hearing? All right, this is a public hearing. If anyone wishes to speak on this item, we ask that you use the raise hand feature in your Zoom window or *9 if you're joining us via phone. Again, raise hand if you're in your Zoom window or *9 if you're joining us via phone. While folks are chiming in, I'm going to call on our clerk to see if we had any written public comments.
There were no written comments received for this public hearing.
Very good. Thank you, Beverly. All right, last call for public comments. If you wish to speak regarding this public hearing item, please use the raise hand feature or *9. All right, hearing no requests, I'll entertain a motion from council to close public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
I second that.
Motion to close made by Councilmember Butler, seconded by Councilmember Owen. Any questions regarding the motion? All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes of myself, Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, Council Members Ward, Butler, and Owen. Next, City Council has been provided with recommended motions and guidance from staff on the yellow sheet in your packets.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the request to rezone from conditional business 833 and neighborhood business NB zoning district to general business GB district. The portion of property in question is located at 1700 South Church Street, west of South O'Neill Street and north of Sykes Street, and consists of the Alamance County Tax Identification Number 1216969, 12169. The motion is based upon the consistency of the proposed rezoning with the comprehensive plan, in that the future land use map in section 4 land use of the comprehensive plan calls for this area to have general business uses. The request is compatible with the adjacent commercial property uses. The action is reasonable and in the public interest, in that the comprehensive plan calls for commercial uses in the area, and the request is compatible with the existing zoning and land uses in the area.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Hikes. Any questions regarding the motion? Mike, I have a question for you regarding the road O'Neill along here. I know there's been discussions about DOT projects for Chapel Hill Road, as well as realignment of Alamance Road. And I know part of those plans have indicated that bringing kind of the main flow of traffic up to directly connect with O'Neill at Highway 70. Does changing any of this adversely affect any of the long-term planning as far as traffic flow?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It would not. I think that's the basic cross section that you have there. The alignment would be to the south that would connect to this point. The intersection as it is now would stay the same. The location would stay the same.
Okay, so there's not any need to kind of adjust right of way in any way.
Not at this time. Yeah,
Okay.
not at this time.
Okay, very good. Any other council questions? All right, with that, all those in favor of the motion to approve as consistent with the land use plan, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes of myself, Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, council members Ward, Butler, and Owen. With that, we'll move on to item 2 on our public hearings. The public hearing has been set to consider Link Transit's fleet replacement plan and pursuing Federal Transit Administration and State of North Carolina funding through the North Carolina Department of Transportation, and to consider adopting a resolution authorizing the filing of the grant application. This time I'll recognize our interim transit manager, John Ando. Welcome, John.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening, we are requesting a public hearing to discuss the applicant submitting an application to the North Carolina Department of Transportation to pursue the purchase of 5 replacement gasoline-powered RBOX Spirit of Mobility buses utilizing through their combined capital program. Additionally, as part of the public hearing process, we are also asking in a separate item as part of this public hearing to purchase 3 new paratransit gasoline-powered buses utilizing either 5339 or 5310 funds. We request that you open the public hearing to gather comments first on the 5 replacement electric buses, and then close the public hearing, and then reopen it again for the gasoline paratransit buses, and then close it once you receive comments. And then thereafter adopt a resolution authorizing staff to submit an application for these buses. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
John, if you could just put your presentation in presentation mode just to make it a little easier for folks to see.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. And then just to clarify, your request is to have 2 public hearings, one for the first 5 bus grant and then one for the 3 purchase?
That is correct. That's per NCDOT's guidelines.
Okay.
Shouldn't that be gas, John?
Yeah, those are, I thought they were gas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that should
gasoline. I
be-
apologize. Yes, gasoline.
yes, that's what I thought, yes.
Sorry, Mayor. Yes.
Okay, so we will
Mayor, can we
hold.
can we get that restated for the record for the city clerk?
So John has.
So the first public hearing will be for 5 replacement gasoline-powered buses for the 5339 program. And then the second portion will be for 3 gasoline-powered paratransit buses for either the 5310 or 5339 program.
Very good. All right, so this is item 2 of our public hearings, but there are going to be 2 separate public hearings and 2 motions regarding this for anyone watching. So we'll go ahead and begin with the 5 replacement gasoline buses in fiscal year 2023 grant cycle for FTA section 5339. This time it is a public hearing. Council, any questions before we begin these?
I like it better when it said electric.
Grant gets slightly more expensive when we do that. All right, so this public hearing is for the 5 replacement gas buses fiscal year 2023 grant cycle using the 5339 funds. At this time, anyone wishing to speak regarding this item, please use the raise hand feature or *9 if you're joining us via phone. And clerk, have we received any written public comments regarding this?
There were no written comments received for this public hearing.
Very good, thank you. Again, any public comment? John, if you could leave that up there just for clarity. Couple moving pieces here, so I just want to make sure we've got that. Thank you. All right. Again, any public comment regarding the 5 replacement gasoline buses? Please use the raise hand or *9. Hearing no request for comment, I'll take a motion from council.
Mayor, if I could ask Don a question real quickly,
Sure.
With the 5 gas bus replacements in the 5339, what is the projected timeline or life expectancy of those buses?
It'll be about 1 year from talking with the manufacturer. Once our grant is approved, 1 year from the date of the grant approval.
No, I think you have the life.
The life expectancy
Yeah.
7 years or 200,000 miles.
Okay. So technically we'd be out to, okay, I got you. So we'd be into back to 2030 on those buses then.
That is correct. About that.
Okay.
Councilmember Ward, were you suggesting a motion?
I was going to ask, do we need to make a motion to close the first public hearing and open the second? Would
We
that be
do.
appropriate?
Yes.
Well, I'll make that motion to close the first public hearing and simultaneously open the second.
Second.
Motion to close public hearing and open the second made by Councilmember Ward, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Pikes. Any questions regarding the motion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes for myself, Mayor Pro Tem Pikes, council members Ward, Butler, and Owen. So at this time, we'll have opened our second public hearing. This is regarding the purchase of 3 new paratransit gasoline buses for fiscal year 2023 grant cycle for FTA sections 5310 and 5339. This time we'll.
Mayor, I would, for some clarification, ask the manager there, are they looking for a separate vote on each of these public hearings? That's what I gathered from his initial.
On the grants?
Yes.
Yes, the NCDOT requires, since we have 2 separate projects, that there just be 2 separate opening and closing of the public hearing, but you could do 1 vote on the resolution.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, so again, we are in a second public hearing on item 2. So this is regarding the 3 new paratransit gasoline buses using 5310 and 5339 funds. And are wishing to speak regarding this purchase of 3 buses, please use the raise hand feature in your Zoom window or *9 if joining us via phone. Clerk, have we received any written comments regarding this item?
There were no written comments received for this public hearing.
Very good. This will be the last call for any public comments regarding the purchase of 3 paratransit buses. Hearing no comments, I will take a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to close made by Councilmember Ward, seconded by Councilmember Butler. Any questions regarding the motion? All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes of myself, Mayor Pro Tem Pikes, council members Ward, Butler, and Owen. At this time, take any council questions. Otherwise, we can entertain a motion to approve both of these items together. Do I hear a motion regarding these items?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve both and authorize the filing of the grant application.
Thank you, Councilmember. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
I think I caught Kathy just slightly before you, Harold. So Councilmember Ward, a motion to approve both items, including the grant application, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Pikes. Any questions regarding the motion? All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes of myself, Mayor Pro Tem Pikes, council members Ward, Butler, and Owen. John and Mike, thank you for your presentations. We appreciate
you.
your thanks this evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
With that, we'll move on to our new business item. Item number 3, City Council will consider awarding a contract to US Bronco Services, Inc. and approve budget amendment 2022-11 for the automated meter installation project. This time we'll recognize Water Resources Director Bob Patterson. Good evening, Bob.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Tonight, we're requesting you to consider approval of an award of contract for the meter installation with US Bronco from Fairfield, Ohio, and an associated budget amendment. We began discussing this project, I believe, in 2018, and soon after hired our consultant, UMS Services, to help us lead us through this project. As we delved into it, we realized that it was not just a meter installation project, but it was a technology project with all the different forms of software and computer hardware and fixed networks, that it was very important to have someone knowledgeable of the process to lead us through. So UMS has helped us along the way to do that. And we are now at this kind of the final stage of all the work to get to the installation with the hiring of the installation contractor. This project will involve installing the meters and, most importantly, coordinating the communications between the meters, the fixed network receiving stations that will then transmit the information to our software and billing systems, which are being provided through Corin, Maine, and Neptune, who you've previously awarded a contract to. US Bronco specializes in the installation of meters, having installed more than 1 million meters, not only water meters, but gas meters and electric meters throughout the US, including several North Carolina and South Carolina projects. US Bronco was selected by a city team that included water resources and finance personnel, and also water, and from finance, water billing, and meter reading representatives. There were 5 companies that responded to our request for proposal. US Bronco quickly rose to the top based on their experience, not only with meter installation, but especially with our meter brand Neptune and our software system Munis. They have worked with all those components and had successful implementations. Their references all came back excellent, with high regards for customer service and interacting with citizens. And I guess best of all, they were also the least cost option. At approximately $1,120,000, just a little bit under that amount. So if the contract's awarded, we expect them to begin installation sometime after Thanksgiving, and ramp up more quickly after the first of the year. And the installation will probably run through the first quarter of 2013. They'll be installing residential meters as well as the larger meters.
Bob, you said 2013. What year will it run through?
I mean, 2023, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, we're not going back to the future.
All right.
Residents will be notified with door hangers approximately 1 to 2 weeks before the installation, before the replacement of their meters. The crew will come out and install a meter. Generally, it will only take 15 to 20 minutes per install. And then there will be left a door hanger to notify the residents their meter had been replaced. The crews will flush lines if there's an outdoor spigot available. But if residents do have some dirty water, which is possible when you're disturbing the meter, that they just need to flush their cold water. But as I said, US Bronco is experienced in this and have procedures in place to minimize those impacts. The commercial and non-residential customers will be contacted by Bronco representatives to arrange and make appointments to make those meters with at times that will hopefully have the least impact to their processes. If you have any questions, Peggy and I are available to answer those, and we request your consideration to approve the contract and the budget amendment.
Very good. Thank you, Bob. Any questions from council?
This is coming from water and sewer capital reserves. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That is correct.
Bob, does this cover all of the meters in the project, in this one contract?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And Bob, if I'm not mistaken, this project has been discussed now for several years, is it not?
Yes, at least 2018, maybe even 2017, we started discussing this project and how to implement.
17, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Bob, I appreciate you touching on the customer service piece. I think that's going to be big for our residents since this is going to be on their property and directly impacting their water quality there. So thank you for detailing that procedure. If residents have any concerns during the installation, do we have any procedures for city staff to also provide some support there?
Yes, on the door hangers, there will be contact information, and we also provide from US Bronco, and we also provide a city number that we will, between the two of us, we will coordinate any response and follow up.
Very good. Thank you.
And I should add, as part of the project, once the meters are installed and communicating, data will be available for customers to access on a web-based customer portal if they choose to, and they can get their usage information much more timely than our current monthly billing cycle. So they'll be able to monitor their usage and maybe spot if they have a leaking toilet or a leaking faucet that creates unusual usage. They may be able to spot that sooner to lessen the impact to their bills.
Very good. Bob, since we're doing so many meters simultaneously, I would assume there's a expected failure rate on kind of dead on arrival meters, or that will die fairly quickly. Do we know what that might be, and do we have procedures in place so residents won't be surprised by any issues?
It's a very small percentage. I don't have that on top of my head, but we do have processes in place that the readings will actually be transmitted on a daily basis. And once the communications is established, we will get daily reports on if there is a reason why a reading wasn't transmitted, so that our crew can go out and check the meter. Sometimes it may just be the signal is disrupted for some reason, or sometimes there may be a meter issue, and that will be addressed so that the meter would be replaced, or that would be replaced.
Okay, thank you. Any other council questions on this? All right, do I hear a motion to approve budget amendment 2022-11?
I'll move.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Mayor Pro Tem Hike, seconded by Councilmember Butler. Any questions regarding the motion to approve? All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is passed with votes of myself, Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, council members Ward, Butler, and Owen. Thank you, Bob and Peggy. We appreciate your work on this. We're excited to see the team out in the field doing some work very soon.
Mayor, if I may ask, just for clarification, would council mind passing a motion to approve awarding the contract as well to US Bronco? Or
Sure.
amending? Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, would you be friendly to amending that to include the contract award?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Councilmember Butler, any objection to?
None.
Okay. All right, council, all those in favor of the amended contract, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion to approve the amended contract, the amended motion with the contract is passed with votes of myself, Mayor Pro Tem Hikes, council members Ward, Butler, and Owen.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our regular agenda. Next is public comment. If there's any members of the public who wish to speak regarding an item not on our agenda tonight, we ask that you use the raise hand feature or *9 if joining us via phone now. Again, use the raise hand feature in your Zoom window or *9 if joining us via phone. While folks are chiming in, I'm going to call on our city clerk to see if we had any written public comment.
There were no written public comments received for tonight.
Thank you. Again, this is the general public comment period tonight. If anyone joining us wishes to speak, please use the raise hand feature or *9. See no requests for public comment this evening, so we will move on to city council comments. Any city council comments this evening? Last meeting, we had a good discussion during city council comments about political signs on city property in right-of-way. I know we've received a memo from Attorney Huffman. Thank you, Attorney, for preparing this for us. I'd like to see if council has any comments on this. I think it creates some good guidance in the recognition that under our new UDO, city council is the property owner. David, do you want to explain this? Or do you want me to go through it?
Either way, Mr. Mayor, the bottom line to it is the city council pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 136-32, A through F, and then our own UDO, Unified Development Ordinance, provides for the adjacent property owner, which for public property owned by the city would be the city council, to make a decision as whether or not to allow political signs on the property. And that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Very good, council. Any thoughts on this?
I'd just like to look over it. I just got it right before we went on air tonight. So I'd like to take a look at it. Maybe we can discuss it at the next meeting.
Council, any other thoughts?
I'm good with that also.
Okay. Yeah, I think as I brought up in our last council comments at the end of last meeting, I think we've hit a unique stride in that we have a lot of people engaging through the civic process in running for office, which is wonderful in our municipal elections, but also means there are more yard signs. And so it's created this unique time and place where we have a lot of signs in public property. Attorney, I think we did determine last meeting that any signs that are clearly out of the right of way, and I think you had provided some guidance there, should be removed. And we gave candidates a notification. So I think we are out of that grace period now. So is that correct?
Yes, that's also covered in the memo.
Yep. So, so at this point, any objection to city staff removing signs that are clearly on city property and outside of the right of way?
You know, it's not that many. We know who these people are. Their information's public. Have we notified them to let them know they may not have watched the meeting? They may not be aware.
Let me respond to that. After the at the last meeting, I indicated that I would make those phone calls. Actually, I went out 2 days after the meeting and looked, and I told the mayor later on I couldn't find anything, and I didn't know whether folks had actually listened to the meeting and gone out and removed their signs or not, but there was nothing there. I spoke with the mayor a little bit earlier this evening, and he indicated that a couple seemed to have come back in and put a couple in, maybe some shrubbery and flowers that on one of the parks. I'm not sure which park that was, Mayor, but
yeah, I noticed at Robinson Park, they had started to pop back up along the crepe myrtles there, and there were even some landscaping or other commercial signs popping up amid them. So
well, those have never been allowed by the city. Okay?
Correct. Yep. So
And there's also a sign up, I believe over at Forest Hills on park property.
So yeah, that notification was provided last meeting, so there's been plenty of time there.
So you did call them, David?
Actually, by the time I rode around 2 days later, they weren't there.
Let's call these folks.
Be glad to.
Yeah. We've got to be mindful of the fact that people are, there's a lot of volunteers that go out and help. It's difficult for municipal campaigns. No one's doing it intentional or harmful, I'm sure, but I would prefer to give everybody the respect of a phone call before we send our code enforcement people. There's much more things that I'd rather see code enforcement working on if we could get it self-policed.
I'll be glad to go for a ride tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good. And then council, any other comments on this? Otherwise, we'll bring this back up on our agenda on the October 19th meeting. All right. Very good. Thank you, attorney, for preparing this guidance. Council, any other council comments tonight? All right, I'm just going to thank all of our city staff and Elon folks for helping with Elon 4th Friday just the other week. It was a fantastic event. The weather cooperated. It was a beautiful fall evening in downtown Burlington. I know that a lot of hard work from the city and from Elon University went into that event. I received a lot of positive comments from Elon parents who were visiting. It was their first window into our community, and for their students, the opportunity to experience more of Burlington. And they were very appreciative of the welcome mat that we rolled out for them. So thank you for all that hard work, and we look forward to continuing the event for a third year, hopefully in 2022.
And Mayor, I think that the businesses downtown had a successful day also, which we can't underestimate how important that was. So it was a good day for everyone.
Yep. And Elon actually just rolled out their economic impact study and I think Monday this past week. And some pretty significant numbers there as far as jobs and economic impact on the community. And things like Elon Fourth Friday are a way to even further help the university be a major player in our local economy and the success of our region. So
Sure.
we appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye and indicate with a hand raise.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed unanimously. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you coming tonight and enjoy a well-needed rest after the busy election day.
Thank you.
Good night to all.
Night, guys.
All right.